partner and a country that we work with very closely and effectively on counterterrorism issues. Okay?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last week, I think you took this question. It was
Yep.
about what you guys do when the Department of Justice comes knocking on the door asking for records of people's comings and goings from this building. So did you get an answer? Do you just hand them over blithely, or do you make them get some kind of a court order?
So the Department of State cooperates in criminal investigations in a variety of ways, Matt, including by providing various records in support of DOJ investigations when requested. In general, no court order is required for such cooperation to take place.
Right.
Having said that, I do point you, of course, to the President's speech, which was just a couple hours after I was up at the podium on Thursday, where he was very clear that a free press is essential for our democracy, and that he is troubled by the possibility that investigations may chill investigative journalism, and that journalists should not be at legal risk for doing their jobs. So the President of the United States was very clear about that.
Well, I don't see how that's very clear about you guys just handing over entry and egress records. He didn't say anything about that. So,
well, again, this is a federal building, and we cooperate with other federal agencies.
Right, for federal employees, presumably. But what about private citizens, like journalists who come and go to this building? Is having a badge, and I don't know, maybe it is. Does the privilege of having a badge mean that that any of our records can just be opened up and looked at any time without any kind of a court?
The information I have is that in general no court order is required for such cooperation with the Department of Justice
but does that
on ongoing law enforcement investigations.
Does that apply to federal employees' badges, or journalists, or both?
I don't have any information one way or another.
So there's no distinction made between an employee of the State Department who signs, who signs agreements to protect and keep classified information confidential, and someone like any of us. There's no distinction between that. Those records are wide open. Well,
we share them with the Department of Justice or other law enforcement agencies on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, so you are aware that they came in this case and asked for...
Well, in some federal buildings, they publish every entry and exit.
Oh, I know. Listen, I just want to know what the policy is. I'm not suggesting that there's anything wrong necessarily with it. I just wanted to know what the policy was.
I mean, we're a federal building, and we share information as necessary with other federal agencies on law enforcement matters.